Breaking news this afternoon, a massive fire spreading to a number of buildings in Cohoes. This is what the fire looked like about an hour ago when it first started, but the flames continue to roar, the wind whipping it through the city.
Now that fire starting at 228 Remsen Street, right in the heart of the city. It's near Rizzo's House of Flowers and Mara's Pharmacy between Columbia Street and Howard Street.
The big problem out here has been the wind. Now we have video from when the flames were in full effect here. Take a look at it. Scary images. I rolled up here on the other side and ash was flying through the air. The smoke was very thick.
This is what I saw my whole life, up in flames.
I mean,
so, I'm grateful that nobody got hurt. I'm very grateful because my son was home with his girlfriend and the dogs. So.
And everyone made it out safely. I'm told you had a cat in there.
I did have a cat, and I don't think she made it out.
How horrific is this?
Terrible, especially around this time of the year. You never think that this is going to happen to you, and, well, it does happen.
Officials saying wind gusts are an issue fighting this fire. What can we expect as the night goes on? Let's check in with meteorologist Tim Drawbridge. Tim.
Lydia, you could see in Andrew's video there from William Sass that indeed the wind drove those flames big time. And you know that from just doing a controlled fire. If you add in some air, it will take off. The wind gusts now, after being at 30 miles per hour officially in Albany last hour, now at 28.
This fire, because of the conditions, spread across the street, impacted other businesses like Rizzo's, impacted Smith's restaurant, which is a block away on the other side of the street, and actually sent flames over to a church another block away.
Yeah, I'm right next to the mayor right now. Mr. Mayor, thanks for joining us. Can you just tell us what exactly we know right now?
Yeah, well, what we know is that we had a pretty big disaster here in the city of Cohoes. Between 17 and 20 buildings have been on 3 blocks have either been destroyed completely or have some structural or water damage.
That's where the big scene of the fire is, where crews are still trying to put out the fire. Smoke is still billowing out of those buildings over there. But what's unbelievable is that firefighters tell me, embers from those buildings spread all the way over here to Smith's Tavern. You can see glass is spread out over the ground. This is hundreds of feet away from the other scene of the fire, and they tell me that fire spread to the roof of the building and that there was fire inside the 2nd and 3rd floors of the building.
Yeah, guys, let me take a step aside and just show you what it looks like at this hour. This is well over 3 hours since the fire started. Still a lot of smoke in the air, a lot of crews on hand.
This area, I was already told earlier, was already hit by fire. The embers had flown from all of those main buildings on Remsen Street and had flown to the top of Smith's Tavern and had put fire inside the 2nd and 3rd floors of Smith's Tavern. But fire crews had thought that they got the fire out, but it seems like that there's more embers that are now catching fire behind Smith's Tavern in that area of Remsen Street. I don't know if you can see, but right now I'm in a huge pile of a lot of smoke right now. I can barely even see the camera lens at this time.
Breaking news, a suspect charged in a massive fire in Cohoes. Dozens of people have been left homeless.
Half of my family was in there when it happened.
Flames ripping through several buildings, prompting a state of emergency.
Our most important issue here is taking care of the people.
We have team coverage.
Police find the man they believe is responsible, 51-year-old John Gomes. Authorities say he may have intentionally set a small fire in his backyard, but the wind spread quickly, and soon the fire is out of control. Now Gomes is charged with arson in the 4th and reckless endangerment in the 1st.
Now to the city of Cohoes, trying to bounce back after a devastating fire. Buildings burned, lives changed forever. News 10 ABC's Rachel Yankunis has more now on how the city is trying to rebound today.
The city has been washing the streets and the sidewalks, clearing most of this area, but this is the worst of that damage. The pile of rubble still smoking. The community, though, is thriving, and they do not have to rebuild alone.
Owner Joe Hostick tells me they have a lot of smoke and water damage. Restoration crews worked throughout the night extracting water and removing furniture, but hours later, water is still leaking from the ceiling. Hostick, though, knows things could have been much worse.
I'm just grateful beyond words that we're into this already and righting the ship.
And we begin begin tonight with breaking news. Tonight in Troy, 4 bodies have been found inside a basement on 2nd Avenue.
Police say the people were murdered.
What we do know is that 4 people were found dead in that basement apartment of that building right over there. Captain Dan DeWolf tells me that they were called to the scene around 12:50 this afternoon to 2nd Avenue when the property manager called to tell them he found 4 people unresponsive in the basement apartment.
It's horrible. I feel bad for the families.
Jason Fenton stunned, learning 4 people were found dead across the street from his home in Troy, a place he's lived for nearly 20 years. He just got back after being away for the holiday and tells me that kids around 10 to 12 years old live in the building where it happened.
When I left on Friday, there were kids playing outside, playing in the snow. I can only hope that it didn't involve them.
This is a News 10 ABC breaking news alert.
As promised, here's that press conference from Troy Police Chief Tedesco right now.
Robert Patnode, commanding officer of Troop G. Lieutenant Robert Appleton, who's working with us from New York State Police Major Crimes. The 4 deceased persons in the apartment ranged in age from 5 years of age to 36 years of age. The victims were a boy, 11 years of age, a girl, 5 years of age, and 2 adult female, ages 22 and 36.
We continue to follow the latest details on the quadruple homicide in Troy.
And we have team coverage. News 10's Ayla Frone standing by with reaction from the community.
But right now we want to begin with News 10's Anya Tucker, who has the latest on the investigation, joining us live from Troy. Anya?
Well, good afternoon. It is certainly a very sad afternoon here in the community of Lansingburg. I'm standing outside the home where police say they found the body of a woman, her girlfriend, and her girlfriend's children. Now, earlier today during a press conference, the chief of police talked about the savagery of this crime.
Getting a little bit too close to home.
He wants justice for whoever did this.
Catch the people that did it, string them up if they're killing kids.
Kids Frank Mabin knew personally, specifically the young boy who he coached in baseball and basketball at the Troy Central School District.
Outstanding young man, very coachable, listened, had the discipline, wanted to be a leader, wanted to be a part of everything that was right.
And the people need to cry out, and whoever is out there that know anything, they need to stop respecting the street code and give up the information.
And asking the person or people who did this to come forward.
There's no justification for it. I mean, give yourself up. How can you live with yourself doing something like this?
4 people, Shantae Myers, her girlfriend, Brandy Mells, and Myers' 2 children, Shanice and Jeremiah, found dead, murdered in their home. Tonight, for the first time, the family speaks.
When I heard it, it just broke me.
Khalif Coleman, the nephew and cousins of the victims, visibly shaken.
Something got to give to Troy because this is trouble. This is hard.
It feels like somebody's ripped us to shreds, and we only have each other right now.
And we begin with some breaking news this morning. I'm News 10 ABC's Mary Wilson. Thanks for being with us. 2 people have been arrested in connection to the quadruple homicide in Troy. We understand that one of them, Justin Mann, has been arraigned on 4 counts of murder in the 1st degree. That arraignment is going on right now in Troy City Court.
We now know the names of the 2 men who are being charged in connection with that quadruple homicide in Troy. Those men are Justin Mann and James White. Just about an hour ago, they were arraigned right here behind me in Troy City Court. They are both now facing 4 counts of murder in the 2nd degree and are remanded to Rensselaer County Jail without bail.
This is a News 10 ABC special report.
Good morning, everyone. A press conference getting underway momentarily on the 2 arrests made in that quadruple murder case in Troy.
I don't need to tell you how good it feels to have these 2 defendants into custody, and their arrests were a culmination of outstanding work.
We're going to begin, though, with some breaking new details in the case. In the firing of a local sheriff's deputy, that's just the least of his issues or problems tonight.
Through independent sources, News 10 has learned this officer is facing a criminal sex charge.
This was an eager, hard-working Officer Corey Wagner back in 2015, talking to News 10 ABC about the minimum wage hike.
Nerves are pumping and things are going through your mind when you're racing to a call.
At the time, he was working for the Cambridge Greenwich Police Department. But today, he's found himself on the other side of the law. His badge stripped, facing allegations of past sexual abuse. You've heard that this is a charge that is sexual in nature.
Absolutely, yes, I have, and that's why he's
He's been terminated from his full-time job and effectively terminated as part-time officer with me.
Chief George Bell says he was notified Monday by New York State Police that Wagner had been arrested, but that in an unusual turn of events, the case would not be handled in the criminal court, but rather in family court, because the alleged crime occurred more than 15 years ago.
He's a juvenile, technically, even though the man is 27 years old. You know, what I know of the thing, it happened as when he was allegedly 12 years old. And the victim, my understanding, is a juvenile, so therefore he has to be treated in a family court setting.
Because it's in family court, the case is sealed. But law enforcement sources tell News 10 ABC that Wagner is facing a charge of criminal sex act in the first degree. Wagner had also been working for the Rensselaer County Sheriff's Office, having been sworn in just 2 weeks ago. But today, the sheriff announced that the rookie deputy has been fired due to his arrest, saying, quote, the alleged incident was in no way connected to the sheriff's office, nor did it occur during Wagner's employment with Rensselaer County.
New details now in the criminal case against a local dentist. Reported victims speaking to us today says crimes might go much further than first thought. News 10 ABC's Lindsay Nielsen is determined to get answers and has the story.
What was your reaction when you found out that he was arrested?
Actually, I was thinking it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming.
This woman, who did not want to be identified, says she's a former patient of Dr. Martin Sorbereau, who was arrested this week accused of stealing money from his dental patients. She's one of nearly 50 alleged victims who have come forward to police.
I had only gone in to get one tooth fixed, and here I am getting a whole mouth reworked that really wasn't in any pain at the time. And I had said no a couple times, but he's a smooth talker.
She says Dr. Sorbereau strongly encouraged her to open a care credit card.
My cards were charged without my knowledge.
Charged to the tune, she says, of $11,000. And after that was paid, she says she got another bill.
He can't be billing me. He must owe me work because I've already paid out $10,000, $11,000 in credit care.
Police say some victims have claimed Dr. Sorbereau charged patients for work they didn't even need.
So you had concerns that the work being done wasn't necessary?
Yes, but it took a long time to actually say, okay, I'm done.
I stopped at Dr. Sorbereau's office for a second time. It was closed, but I did catch up with one of his family members at his house. As I pulled up to this home owned by Dr. Sorbereau, I spoke with a man who says he is his father, Tom Sorbereau.
What do you think about the charges against him?
I don't know what to make of it. I just can't picture him doing that.
Is this heartbreaking for you?
Beyond heartbreaking.
Why are you running?
I have to get to the bank.
Excuse me?
I have to get to the bank.
That's Dr. Martin Sorbereau trying to avoid our cameras, saying he needed to get to the bank. I found him at a dental office in Troy today. He's accused of stealing thousands of dollars from patients at his Canajoharie dental office, and also accused of charging them for dental work he didn't do.
Did you steal money from your patients?
No, I never did in 34 years.
You never stole money?
Never.
Some alleged victims I spoke with even accused him of doing unnecessary dental work.
Did you do bad work on them or work that wasn't necessary?
Talk to my lawyer, no comment.
Today, police tell me their investigation has widened and they are now looking into other offices where Dr. Sorbereau worked, including his family member's orthodontist office, Dr. Cheryl Sorbereau in Guilderland, and the office I found him at today in Troy, Capital Dental Associates.
Do you think that it's good to still be working on patients right now, or?
Yeah, that's what I am. 34 years.
Dr. Sorbereau no longer has a job at Capital Dental Associates as he was fired today. In a statement, the owner of the practice, Dr. Santosh Thomas, said, quote, Dr. Sorbereau briefly worked for me for 5 months in my Troy office 2 days a week. I closely monitored all of his work and procedures. He never had access to finances and did not collect money. He was strictly a salaried employee. He was fired today when he showed up at the Troy office.
So you plan to fight these charges?
Definitely.
Do you have anything to say to victims that have said that you did them wrong?
No comment. Talk to my lawyer, Bob Abdullah.
When things are at their worst, New Yorkers are at their best.
Shoveling, driveways, walkways, anything to make the money.
Oh, it's probably been
35 years since I saw something like this.
Continuing coverage now of Blizzard 2017 as you take a look at what it looks like outside right now.
Well, driving conditions are so bad, in fact, that we're seeing a lot of people here at the truck stop.
Look at this parking lot. Remember earlier in the morning, this was once plowed at one point.
Jimmy Marlowe was out there.
He is. He's been out there all morning long for us like a trooper, our Floridian in the blizzard. Jimmy.
Hey, you guys, I never thought when I got this job I'd be getting hit in the face by snow right now, but that is the nature of Blizzard 2017. So let's take a look right behind me right now. Clearly, this is a whiteout. The wind literally just kicked up as I started talking.
This just came in. We've got Governor Cuomo's Twitter page up right here. He just issued this for 1 p.m., which just went into effect. Full travel ban on I-84.
We're noticing the heaviest band, we've highlighted it here, is now shifted to the north and west of the capital region.
Yeah, and it looks like even at this point, looks like 1.5 to maybe 2.5 inches per hour.
We are right off the New York State Thruway at the Guilderland rest stop, where we are in the good company of, I would say, upwards of 50 tractor trailers, all of them forced to get off the road.
People are embracing this. They are excited about the snow. I have two friends here. They're actually visiting from Norway, and today you guys actually, instead of staying inside this hotel, you got out and hopped on your bikes. Tell me about that.
Yes, why not try bicycle riding in the snow? We do that in Norway, but here it was pretty hard. We have to pull the bikes.
Yeah.
It was a lot of snow in the street, so we still saw some people that need help to pull the cars out, so we helped them and earned some money.
There were 3 CDTA buses that are stuck here in the snow. CDTA is running today during the blizzard, but unfortunately they don't have all-wheel drive.
Guys, you do not want to be out on these roads if you don't have to be. It's just not necessary. Don't do it. Of course, stay home. Now, I have to say, on a happier note of not being so cold, this guy right here has been warming me up. We saw him just kind of walking down the road.
We're in Troy. We're on 2nd Street. You know, we're on this one-way road. I mean, check it out. Maybe the plows have come here maybe once, but that's just about it. And, you know, the cars on either side of the street are buried.
This snowstorm has been on and off for most of the day. A couple hours ago, the snow was lighter, but as you can see, that once again has changed. This storm has picked up once again.
This storm is going to linger off and on lightly into Wednesday, so we'll be adding a little bit more to these figures. So you can take a look. I mean, there'll be places exceeding 3 feet by the time this storm comes to an end.
When parole is complete, there really are no restrictions on employment. That means even sexually violent offenders can work around children, and some in the capital region do.
Fairy tales come to life at the Magic Forest in Lake George. But last summer, the season closed without a storybook ending. Former employee, 66-year-old Francis Germain, arrested by Warren County Sheriffs for not disclosing that he was working around children. You see, Germain is a level 3 sex offender, the strongest rating given when there is a high risk of repeat offense and a threat to public safety. But case dismissed. Surprisingly, sex offenders don't have to tell police where they work, even if it's at a children's amusement park.
The laws in New York are very, 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 very complicated.
We met Melanie Blow at the state capitol. It's become a familiar place for her and many other child abuse survivors who are pushing for laws like statute of limitations reform. Melanie was sexually abused by 2 separate relatives. She spent her adolescence on autopilot.
The second one, thankfully, is dead. That happened for 4 years, the whole time I was in high school.
Her other abuser is now a high school teacher, and Melanie believes there are more victims.
At what point did you realize there's a problem here? This may be a loophole.
When I was trying to press charges on the first one, that's when I learned that legally there was absolutely nothing I could do.
There have been Senate bills to strengthen sex offender laws. They never make it to the assembly floor, year after year after year. But the other side is growing louder. Melanie says gone are the days where silence means safety.
What would you say to any victim who doesn't feel like they have anyone to talk to?
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. When you get to the point where you can talk about it, you fix it in the past. It becomes a smaller and smaller part of you because then you're able to start growing and the trauma doesn't.
This is something Melanie has been working on for more than a decade. Victim advocates and other child abuse survivors have been fighting for the sentiments of the Child Victims Act for 12 years.
The power of Mother Nature is no match to the power of people helping others out. That's what's happening in the village, in the neighborhoods of Hoosick Falls, still devastated from some recent flooding.
After the damage underneath, they found 200-year-old infrastructure pipes made out of brick and being replaced with this brand new plastic piping that is much more durable.
They call me Tuffy. I get all these tough jobs.
It looks like Hoosick Falls Mayor Rob Allen called the right person because it doesn't get more tough than this. Flooding in the village of Hoosick Falls revealing this old and damaged storm drain culvert. Layers of brick, wood, and concrete destroyed by water.
Walter A. Wood installed 200 years ago. It actually had a wooden plank floor in it. Wood floor failed. The walls failed.
Patrick Bakaitis of Hoosick Sand and Gravel knows time is not on his side.
Someday I'll probably get paid, but as of right now, I don't even know where the money's coming from. That's not what is important right now. Right now, we are not ready for another thunderstorm.
So the work begins, replacing 140 feet with new plastic pipe. The concrete manhole would have cost thousands, but Bakaitis put out the SOS for help.
Fort Miller was actually gracious enough to donate this manhole to us, and we have another local contractor in town, Harrison Burroughs. They were gracious enough to send a crane and an operator down here with patience. There'll be no bill for any of this. We could certainly use some money.
While the state has reached out to help, many people in Hoosick Falls are wondering how they're going to pay for it. News 10 ABC's Lindsay Nielsen has the story from Hudson, where she caught up with the governor today trying to find out.
While Cuomo was in our area, I took the opportunity to try and ask a question many in the village of Hoosick Falls want an answer to. But it wasn't that easy.
We came here to the Hudson Opera House to try and ask Governor Cuomo some questions about funding for Hoosick Falls. We were told there will be no off-topic questions, so we're trying to catch him here outside.
Cuomo didn't show up outside. Inside, I caught up with him as reporters swarmed him before he could leave, trying to find out if the village will receive any state funding after flooding recently damaged roadways, underground infrastructure, and flood protection measures.
Do you know when any funding will be coming to Hoosick Falls? Do you know when any funding will come to Hoosick Falls for flooding in that area? Do you know when any money? Do you know when any money will be going to Hoosick Falls? Hoosick Falls. Do you know when any money will be going there to help with the flooding damage? When they'll get any money?
I have to check. I do not know, but I have to check. Danny will check and follow up.
Fixing the damage would cost millions the village just doesn't have.
I call this like the forgotten zone. Like, who cares about you people up here? I don't know.
A woman attending Hudson Valley Community College says she was raped by another student. News 10's Lexi Nall has an exclusive interview with the woman who says the college is sweeping the attack under the rug.
To force yourself onto or into another person.
This Hudson Valley Community College student says that after she was sexually assaulted by a classmate, she turned to a trusted professor on campus.
I thought that it would be helpful to talk to someone and see what it was that I could do. And my professor referred me to the Title IX coordinator.
The student expected to have a private meeting with the coordinator, but instead she says she was intimidated when she walked into a room filled with 6 school officials.
It's scary to have to sit in front of a board of people and tell them what happened to your body.
And she says what the Title IX coordinator told her next was discouraging.
She told me that she's seen cases like this before, and they're very hard to prove. She explained to me it's a lot of he said, she said.
And so even though she was told contacting police was an option, the student turned the matter over to the school. The school's Title IX coordinator declined an on-camera interview. Instead, the school sent a statement explaining the college complies with state and federal law. All students are informed of their rights, including the right to make a report to college public safety, local law enforcement, and/or state police. A panel of Hudson Valley students and school officials let the alleged rapist resume classes with no punishment.
I woke up, and because I had been drugged, I didn't know what happened. I was covered in bruises. I was really sore.
This Hudson Valley student says she soon realized that she had been raped at the hands of another student. When school administrators learned about the assault, she says they pushed her to report through the school's justice system.
They told me I could go to the police, but they were kind of adamant about handling it internally with the school themselves.
And her story is similar to another student's account after she says she was raped. The school refused to go on camera to talk to us last week, so I tried again on Wednesday to get answers about these internal investigations. I was told no one was available, but I was emailed a second statement. The message said the Title IX coordinator holds an investigative meeting with the reporting student and ensures that the student is aware of his or her rights, including the right to report a crime to local or state law enforcement.
A third student is now coming forward with similar allegations. Lexi Knoll has the story.
One guy who was walking towards me, and he stuck his hand in his pants and winked at me. I felt like an animal in a cage.
This is the voice of a former Hudson Valley student. She agreed to share her story with me on the phone after hearing News 10's coverage. I asked the student whether she was told she could contact police after reporting.
Absolutely not. No, that wasn't even presented as an option.
What happened next is similar to the accounts of the other students who told News 10 about their cases. After multiple attempts to contact school officials for an on-camera interview, I went to the president of the college but was told to speak to public relations. They gave me a copy of an email from the president that says, quote, "We make it very clear that each student has the right to report to local law enforcement." The school told me in an email that the personnel involved in student meetings, that room full of 6 college officials, are each there to provide support to the students. In the meantime, we've reached out to the SUNY chancellor for more information on the process.
Every single member of the Troy Police Department's drug unit has now been put on administrative leave.
An internal investigation is ongoing into this. News 10 ABC's Ayla Ferrone has the exclusive details.
Well, multiple law enforcement sources tell News 10 that the reason that drug unit has been removed is because those officers acted on a tip, went to a home, entered it illegally without a warrant, and then wrote up a report to try and cover up the entire thing.
Troy Police Chief John Tedesco remaining tight-lipped but confirming the suspension.
But the entire drug unit has been put on administrative leave?
That's correct.
Okay, what was the meeting about up there? Just how to move forward?
No comment.
This coming after a closed-door City Hall meeting that involved at least 2 City Council members and Mayor Patrick Madden. The mayor releasing a vague statement saying the incident is resulting from a personnel matter which involves the conduct of certain officers of the unit during a particular occasion. But what sources tell News 10 happened is shocking. Multiple law enforcement sources confirmed to News 10 that the personnel issue in question started with a tip to the drug unit that there was a home in Troy worth investigating. The unit went to the home multiple times within a day with no response. Sources say eventually the unit decided to enter the home illegally without a warrant and that no one was home, but the officers did find some evidence. Sources say then a false report was written to cover up the entire thing.
Today I spoke with a landlord who's telling me officers admitted to her that they entered her property without a warrant.
I feel like they could come in at any time and do whatever they want.
This landlord doesn't feel safe after she says Troy police did just that to her tenant's apartment.
And because they thought that maybe it was burglarized, so they wanted to make sure that everything was okay inside the house.
But she says they did more than just check in on the home. They searched the cabinets and drawers, found some IDs, and left, never finding anything suspicious. And that isn't all they told her.
They told me that they did it without a warrant.
4-year-old Candace's older brother came back here to get his wheelchair like he does every morning.
I'm very, very hurt.
Bringing it to where they set it for the bus to come right here for little Candace.
Then we hear the beep, beep, letting us know transportation was outside.
The bus arrived and the wheelchair was gone.
Bring it back where it belongs. He don't deserve it, and he needs to be able to go to school.
But Candace cannot go to school today at the Center for Disabilities. This chair is his only way of getting around, made specifically for him in February after his other wheelchair broke. Even his name adorns the chair, Mr. Paul.
Just please bring it back. It's not right.
It breaks my heart, you know, for somebody to steal that poor kid's wheelchair. You know, I mean, what good is it to anybody else?
Vietnam veteran Dennis Lemner of New Lebanon could barely find the words, too upset, trying to comprehend why someone would steal this custom-made wheelchair from Candace Paul of Albany. But today, a happier day, in part because of Dennis Lemner.
As I stated, I'll help out. If I have to purchase it all myself, I will do that.
Between Lemner's donation and 2 other local donors and this GoFundMe page, there will be enough to pay for a new chair. The cost, $3,800. And Murrow Wheelchair in Latham placed that order today.
He's an angel. I tell you, he's an angel. We thank him from the bottom of our hearts.
I wish her luck. I wish her all the luck in the world.
Waited in the water for 24 hours.
Oh my God.
Everything they own destroyed.
This is the News 10 ABC American Red Cross Telethon.
Good evening and welcome as we do something a little bit different here. I'm Lydia Colbita.
And I'm John Gray, and you're going to say, wait a minute, they're not sitting on the news set. You're right. We are actually in the middle of the American Red Cross building on Everett Road in Albany, but for a very special reason.
We are here with a room full of volunteers for the News 10 ABC American Red Cross Telethon for Hurricane Harvey victims. This started at 4 o'clock, and between 4 and 7:30, you, the generous viewers of the Capital Region, have raised $78,500.
Wow. Amazing.
With your phone calls to 518-694-5164.
Today kicks off our week-long backpack giveaway.
Yeah, Christina Ranjo is out at the Price Chopper in Colony this morning. And Christina, 6:01, so you're getting ready to give out those backpacks now, right?
This is it. Yeah, take a look, and you can see that line is absolutely growing here. We've got about 70 people online, and they're excited, and the kids are here too, ready to get those backpacks. Jimmy Marlowe's out here with me, Trishna Begum.
Good morning.
We're handing out prizes in line as people wait, and it's time. We don't want to take any more time because people are waiting. They're a little chilly, so we want to get this whole thing started off. You can see my backpack right here. There are 6 choices. It comes with a school supply starter kit. You can see we've got the crayons, the pens, the pencils, pencil case, notebooks, folders. So without any further ado, you guys ready? You want to officially start this? All right, here we go. First person in line, come on down, and it's Samir, 9-year-old Samir. He's been waiting since probably about 4:30 this morning. Samir, which one do you want?
The red superhero.
You like the superhero? I remember you thinking blue, but you went for superhero red.
Yep.
Good for you. And you know there's supplies inside, right?
Yep.
All right, so there you go. Enjoy, buddy. This is what it's all about, helping families.
Well, helping kids stay warm as those temperatures drop. It's all part of the Coats for Kids campaign, and it is the final push. So we want to head out now to News 10 ABC's Ryan Peterson and Greg Pollack. They are both joining us live from the donation station at Colony Center Mall, and you're outside braving those cold temps. That's what it's all about, right, Ryan?
We are outside. I'm the last one to complain about the cold. You know that. Right. I'm really wishing I had Lally's hat from earlier this morning.
I should have brought the gloves.
Man.
Should have brought the gloves.
Greg, if it weren't for the wind, it wouldn't be all that bad.
That's the dividing factor here between wind and no wind. Yes, absolutely.
But it just drives home the fact how important it is to collect these coats. Greg's got the big box right here.
We have so many coats. I mean, already we have had so many people come in and out donating coats. We've had one person. What's his name again?
Bob Koger.
Bob Koger. He donated 30 coats
brand new
himself. Brand new.
Inside this small cafe in this small town, the spirit of a World War II hero lives on through the memories of his friends and family. They sat down and shared his story with me. Stepping into the Homefront Cafe in Altamont, New York feels like stepping back in time. Part restaurant, part museum, it's a place where American history is preserved and heroes never die.
This one was Millard.
Owner Cindy Pollard knows there's more to food service than the Truman Burger she serves up daily.
I'm still inspired by the people I meet that come through these doors, not just the veterans, but everyone. And it's made me realize that everyone has a story.
One of those stories is of Millard Orsini, a war hero who grew up in Altamont.
Altamont is Orsini.
I knew the whole family forever. You know, you couldn't throw a stone around here without hitting an Orsini. No, you still can.
Imagine the year is 1942 and a young American soldier from Altamont finds himself on the other side of an ocean, weak, captured by the enemy and forced to walk as a prisoner in the Bataan Death March.
When you'd see stories on TV and watch what happened, it was just, you couldn't believe that he actually participated in that.
10,000 men died on that horrific trek, but miraculously Orsini survived and was transferred to a Japanese prison.
You know, the one thing when you're trained, and if you do get captured, it's a mental game, it's a mind game. They're going to break your spirit, they're going to break your heart.
But strong and silent, Millard Orsini could not be broken. He passed the time in his cell constructing a makeshift American flag, using a window shade for the body and stolen inks from the laundry for paint. He hid that flag under the floorboards at night, and his friends and family say making it kept him alive.
To think that he could have been killed, for obviously if they had found it, they would have, if no more, at least beaten him, if not killed him.
How do you make the best of digging coal for the enemy and doing the things and being beat and tortured? That was his salvation. That's what made him want to survive.
And that flag literally was his salvation.
Once they were liberated, he went in and he got that out of the floorboards and ran out and held it up because there were planes flying over, and he wanted them to see that there were Americans there.
Orsini brought that flag home from war. Today it outlives him and is displayed proudly on the wall of the Homefront Cafe, where his friends and family honor his memory every day.
It means the world to me. I mean, I bring people here to eat, and the first thing I do is show them that flag.
Him making that flag was defiance. It's like, no, I'm going. I came to fight for this flag. I'm going to make one. If I got to die, I'm going to die with one.
What does the flag say to me? I'm worth fighting for. I'm worth dying for. But live for me. And that's exactly what Millard did.
Feels good, doesn't it?
That bond is unbelievable to witness.
Oh man, something really happened there. Something really happened there.
With the horse today, it was beautiful.
If Saratoga is the graveyard of champions, a few furlongs away, a resurrection is happening. At Cricket Hill Farm, horses and veterans, damaged and often forgotten, come together to bond and heal.
They're world-class athletes.
Here, Bob Nevins fixes the wounds you can't see. Bob was a medevac pilot in Vietnam, and when he landed back home, like so many vets, he wasn't himself.
An emotional circuit breaker pops when they have a traumatic experience. And if that circuit breaker does not reset and bring the rest of their normal systems back online, then they're dealing with nightmares, anxiety, depression.
This is the pen where that reset happened.
Lift it just a hair.
Where warriors with worries.
Car horns, sudden sounds.
You're saying to yourself, all right, I really am not going to be able to do this alone.
Finally face their demons.
Underhand with a little bit of lift.
And toss away their fear by trusting again.
There, now step back.
And that horse comes to them and tries to bond with them. It can be so powerful emotionally for an individual that's flatlined emotionally. It triggers this emotional reset for them.
For some, it's instant.
Nice job. Nice job. No, really, how do you feel?
For others, it hits them after.
It's just this incredible feeling of just relaxation that kind of comes over you.
Jacob did 2 tours in Afghanistan.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible.
While Angelo, a Vietnam vet, had a long chat with his horse.
It was nice job. How's that feeling? Wonderful. Huh? You ever felt that before? No, yeah. That's what it feels like to be safe.
Bob and his team have helped countless veterans. One sent a letter saying, "You saved me," along with a Purple Heart.
Do you feel you may have saved lives with this program?
Well, people aren't saying thank you, but thank you, that horse saved my life.
Your home for the most local news. News 10 ABC starts now.
He's been terminated from his full-time job.
A sheriff's deputy is off the streets after he is arrested. News 10 ABC has learned details about the sex allegations. Plus,
I walked out of there feeling like they were really going to do something about it, and I am just stunned.
A college student says that she was raped and her school did not do enough to help her out. We take her concerns to the campus. And
you don't sell off the best of a museum.
critics failed to stop an art auction in court. Now museum leadership is speaking out. They say the sale is necessary.
We're going to begin, though, with a big story today. A sheriff's deputy has now been fired, and News 10 ABC has learned he's facing a sex charge.
In an unusual move, though, he's being accused as a juvenile. News 10 ABC's Anya Tucker tells us why.
But you've heard that this is a charge that is sexual in nature.
Absolutely, yes, I have, and that's why he's been terminated from his full-time job and effectively terminated as part-time officer with me.
Cambridge Greenwich Police Chief George Bell told me he was recently notified that one of his now former officers, Corey Wagner, seen here in this 2015 News 10 ABC story, had been arrested, facing sexual abuse allegations. But that in an unusual turn of events, the case would not be handled in the criminal court, but rather in family court, because the alleged crime occurred more than 15 years ago.
He's a juvenile, technically, even though the man is 27 years old. You know, what I know of the thing, it happened as when he was allegedly 12 years old.
Because it's in family court, the case is sealed. But law enforcement sources tell News 10 ABC that Wagner is facing a charge of criminal sex act in the first degree. Wagner had also been working for the Rensselaer County Sheriff's Office, having been sworn in just 2 weeks ago. But today, the sheriff announced that the rookie deputy has been fired due to his arrest, saying, quote, the alleged incident was in no way connected to the sheriff's office, nor did it occur during Wagner's employment with Rensselaer County. Has anyone else come forward that you know of within the community or to police?
Not in my community.
Are you concerned that over this time period, this many years, that there's a possibility that there could be some potential other victims out there?
Sure, absolutely. There's always in a case like this.
I'm told that the statute of limitations does not apply in this case and that the details will be sealed as it moves on through family court. Now, we made several attempts to locate Wagner for comment, but we could not find him. In Troy, Anya Tucker, News 10 ABC.
Thank you, Anya. So how did all of this unravel? Well, News 10 ABC has been told that this case stems from a recent child pornography investigation. The suspect in that case, different person, opened up about their past, and that's when this alleged sexual abuse involving the former officer was revealed.
New at 6, a Warrensburg high school student is facing a felony. He is accused of choking a fellow student while they were both in the school. Warren County officers say 18-year-old Kyle Boland choked the victim from behind, causing him to lose consciousness, fall to the floor, and hit his head. Boland has been arraigned and released.
On now to a News 10 ABC exclusive story, an HVCC student in Troy telling us that she was raped and now she has to go back to class with the alleged attacker. News 10 ABC's Lexi Nall has details.
A Hudson Valley Community College student says the college discouraged her from reporting her rape to police. So what is the campus protocol and how did her alleged rapist walk free? I sat down with the woman who says this system failed her.
It's not okay to force yourself onto or into another person.
This Hudson Valley Community College student says that after she was sexually assaulted by a classmate, she turned to a trusted professor on campus.
My professor referred me to the Title IX coordinator.
And she says what the Title IX coordinator told her next was discouraging.
She told me that she's seen cases like this before and they're very hard to prove.
And so even though she was told contacting police was an option, the student turned the matter over to the school.
In terms of reporting, they have the option to either report on campus and move through their judicial process, or they also have the option to report off campus to local law enforcement. You don't want to sway a victim or survivor one way or another.
The school's Title IX coordinator declined an on-camera interview. Instead, the school sent a statement explaining the college complies with state and federal law. All students are informed of their rights, including the right to make a report to college public safety, local law enforcement, and/or state police. A panel of Hudson Valley students and school officials let the alleged rapist resume classes with no punishment.
I walked out of there feeling like they were really going to do something about it, and I am just stunned.
Reporting in Troy, I'm Lexi Nall, News 10, ABC.
New details now in the search for evidence in a cold case. Police telling us they have wrapped up their work at a Fulton County site, and they did not find anything of value to the investigation. Search started yesterday and continued today at a property on Route 30 in Northampton. It was connected to the Tammy McCormick case. She went missing back in 1986 when she was only 13 years old. The case is still open. Police in Albany are investigating a shooting happened around 4 p.m. today on Hunter Avenue. Officers say the 17-year-old victim suffered a gunshot wound to the abdomen. He's expected to recover. No suspects yet in custody.
Continuing coverage now on an art auction controversy brewing in the Berkshires. A court is now ruling the sale can go on as scheduled. News 10 ABC's Rachel Yankunis has been dedicated to the story for a while now. She has your update.
51 years in the art business, and Charles Flint has never seen a deaccession as depleting as the one planned by the Berkshire Museum.
No, it makes no sense to me.
Timeless works by iconic artists like Norman Rockwell will be lost to the public next week. A Berkshire County Superior Court judge ruled in favor of the museum's planned sale of 40 pieces of artwork. The community is devastated.
You don't sell off the best of a museum and completely rip apart one of the nicest buildings in Pittsfield.
Judge John Agostini says the plaintiffs have no legal standing and scolded the Attorney General's office for its incomplete investigation, writing, "The AGO has given this court utterly no reason to expect that convincing evidence will ever be forthcoming." Board of Trustees President Elizabeth McGraw says it took 2 years to make the difficult decision to deaccess.
The responsibility of keeping this museum open and sustainable and relevant weighed so heavily on myself and the board. That's what kept me up at night.
While Flint respects the court's decision, he worries about consequences the museum will face from other institutions and donors.
I think once they burn that bridge, I think it's not going to be rebuilt again.
The 2 Norman Rockwell paintings will be among the first items to go up for auction on Monday, November 13th. Reporting in Pittsfield, I'm Rachel Yankunis for News 10, ABC.
Election day yesterday showing a relatively low number of voters casting ballots. A new mayor will be welcomed in Saratoga Springs. Current mayor keeps her job in Albany, and a constitutional convention question solidly rejected. At this point, though, the race for Rensselaer County's next executive is still up in the air. Republican Steve McLaughlin is ahead by more than 900 votes. Democrat Andrea Smith not conceding, though, until absentee ballots are counted. That process should start on Monday. If you missed any of our election coverage, don't worry. We have full results for more than 300 races posted on our website, news10.com.
All right, time now to talk with our chief meteorologist, Steve Caprizzo. I can see from my side view he's putting his coat on. Good thing, because it's getting cold out there.
Yeah, I'm cold over here. We got a little wind chill. And, tonight, just as cold as last night. So you woke up this morning, you did one of these because you looked out and the frost was so heavy on the grass and on everything. It looked white this morning. I know at my house. 34 at 7 o'clock tonight in Albany. We're going to drop down into the mid-20s. In fact, I think for Albany, a little bit colder than last night. 29 at midnight, 25 at 7 a.m. We'll be down near 10 in the Adirondacks, northern Hamilton County, up into the high peaks. How cold was it this morning? Here's a sampling. Saranac Lake, 11. Indian Lake, 18. I think everybody the same or 2 or 3 degrees cooler. Glens Falls, Cobleskill, 20. Peck Lake, 21. Delanson, Buskirk, Bennington, all in the low 20s. North Adams, 27. In Albany, 27. That is the coldest temperature of the fall season. Cold tonight in Bennington. Here's your storm tracker weather cam, but it is dry. And fortunately, not much in the way of wind. Down to 36 in Albany. The key tonight, clear and calm. That means the temperatures are going to drop like a rock. So we're in that wedge of clear, dry air that will be with us tonight and part of tomorrow. I think tomorrow afternoon, a little bit more in the way of clouds. Get ready. The coldest weather of the season will be here on Friday. Much more on that later in the newscast. John?
All right, thank you, Cap. You know, we all know those people willing to just step up immediately and put in the hard work to make their community a better place.
She is a strong voice for the neighborhood.
After the break, we meet a woman who's made a real impact shaping the future, even in her retirement.
Plus, a Lamborghini seized in a criminal case now has a new owner. We'll tell you how much this beauty actually went for on the auction block.
Here's a quick look at what you can watch tonight on News 10 ABC. Starting at 8, country music's biggest stars perform at the CMA Awards. And then stay tuned for local news at 11. Our inspiring woman today has played a part in nearly all the recent renewal projects in the Pine Hills neighborhood of Albany.
When there's something wrong there, she's the first one to jump up and say, let's fix it. News 10 ABC's Tim Lake has her story.
It looks much, much better now.
Virginia Hammer is the squeaky wheel who gets all the grease in the Pine Hills Neighborhood Association.
Basically, I like to get things done.
Virginia has been at the forefront of a Pine Hills community renewal, from theater to restaurants to landscaping parks.
I like to get ideas or take other people's ideas, but whatever sounds good and whatever sounds doable, I'm just ready to try to take it on.
Virginia Hammer is the kind of person that every neighborhood needs.
Pine Hills author Akeem Norder is an historian with a book about the neighborhood to be published in February.
If there's a problem in the Pine Hills, she is perfectly willing to be a thorn in everybody's side until it gets fixed. She is a strong voice for the neighborhood.
When Virginia Hammer learned that the original Pine Hills Library would be closing, she pushed so hard they ended up with a beautiful new library.
People use it for tutoring, for meetings. It's a community center. I'm always here because I love the library.
When the Pine Hills Elementary School needed a new playground, Virginia Hammer organized the association to raise $6,000 from a book sale.
You guys all set? Yeah.
Sunday, hundreds of UAlbany students turned out at Pine Hills Ridgefield Park and then scattered all over the neighborhoods to pick up trash. The annual neighborhood cleanup is one of the association's most successful new partner ventures.
I think my favorite part is Stittings.
Virginia Hammer also helped organize the cleaning of Pine Hills' iconic mural and the World War II monument at the Point, now renamed DeWitt Park after former Governor DeWitt Clinton. Why does she do it? Because she doesn't want to be bored. She's retired, but by all accounts, she just cares and works harder than ever to make Pine Hills a better neighborhood.
Well, I'd like to have more people move into this area. I'd love for people to understand how great it is to live here, how convenient it is. I mean, how many neighborhoods have a movie theater?
That was Tim Lake reporting, and soon you'll see banners around the Pine Hills neighborhood. Virginia Hammer is behind that idea as well.
I think the flower pops out of the ground. It's her.
It's all Virginia. Well, Veterans Day is coming up this Saturday, and our servicemen and women can certainly never hear thank you enough. Local politician is making it easy for you to send a message. Assemblyman Angelo Santa Barbara adding this Thank a Veteran page to his website, noting it will be posted to the Assemblyman's website, blog, and shared through social media.
All right, if your windows are open at home right now, you might want to go close them. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Steve Caprizzo. You know, we've been living on borrowed time for a while with this warm weather. It had to get cold eventually.
Yeah, you know, we're getting the feel of November, something we haven't been able to say much of. And, you know, the plants, as we know, all messed up this year. Blooming when they shouldn't be blooming, and if they're blooming, they're not going to be blooming much longer. Such is the case in Columbia County today. Received this picture this afternoon via email. This is an iris which was blooming still today on November 8th. Tara Lynn sent me this. This is the Wade family's flower bed. I think those irises will be saying goodbye tonight, and if not tonight, the end of the week, Friday. It's going to get so cold around here. Get those winter coats, hats, and gloves out. You're going to need them. If you haven't taken them out yet this year, you will Friday morning when you step out the door. 30 at Ticonderoga, 29 at North Creek, 34 Manchester. Same temperature at Great Barrington. Hudson, low 30s, mid 30s around Albany. Johnstown, 37. 31 at Cobleskill. Let's check in with the weather watchers. And some of these temperatures, you know, I gather them through email from all my spotters and friends, and some of them may be 15 minutes, 20 minutes old. So they're probably 1 or 2 degrees colder in some cases because that's how fast the temperature's dropping. Kathy Buxton down to 16 this morning at Long Lake, 29, 30 at Indian Lake. It'll be in the low to mid-teens up here tonight. 29 in Stratford, 32 Gloversville. Greenfield Center, 34, 33 at Galway, upper 30s at Mechanicville, right around freezing. Whitehall to Hebron to Queensbury, 33 at Bennington, 33 in Wyndham, down to 30 in Summit. It was in the teens there this morning. 31 at Dwaynesburg, Steve Pearson and Clifton Park, 37. Grafton, 28, 33 at Pittsfield, and 31 at Adams. High pressure slipping east tonight. We're in that wedge of dry air. Now, let me show you this cold front. This is the strongest cold front of the season. This thing's going to pack a wall up when it comes through here tomorrow night in terms of wind and cold air moving in behind it. Look at these temperatures just north of Minnesota right now, single digits, and a chunk of this cold air is going to dive southeastward. So let's show you the futurecast. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a bit more clouds here during the afternoon. And then here comes the cold front. There's the band of snow showers, maybe a few heavier squalls, a little bit of mixing in the valleys. That blows through tomorrow night, then very windy and cold on Friday. Winds could gust easily over 40 miles per hour, so that will make wind chills in the teens here. Down to 24 tonight, near 10 in the Adirondacks. Partly sunny tomorrow, high of 49. Watch for that late night snow squall or snow showers with the cold front blowing through here. Partly sunny, windy, 30 Friday, 12 Saturday morning. Veterans Day, partly sunny, 38. Mostly cloudy on Sunday, 45. Cloudy on Monday, chance of a little bit of light rain or wet snow, Albany south and east, 41. Back up to 50 on Tuesday, partly sunny, and partly sunny, 48 on Wednesday. It's a cold night. Christina Ernie, mobile storm tracker tonight in Half Moon. I think we got to get you that winter hat and gloves.
Yeah, I think it's about time to break out those gloves, Cap. In just a matter of minutes, you can really feel those chilly temperatures. At least here in Half Moon, we're already down into the low 30s. But if you do want to step outside in your very warm winter gear this evening, it is a beautiful night to check out the stars, crystal clear skies. Live from the Mobile Storm Tracker, sponsored by Curtis Lumber, I'm Christina Ernie. Back to you in the studio.
All right, fill her up. That means it's time to give away another Mohawk Hudson gas giveaway card.
Caller number 10 wins a $50 gas card in the Mohawk Honda gas giveaway that we're promoting. 518-433-4295. Caller number 10. Dial carefully.
Let's go to Liana, see what's going on in sports.
Hey guys, well, Union and RPI will meet on the football field this weekend with the Dutchman shoes up for grabs, but there's more on the line than just that trophy this year. Coming up next in sports. Welcome back, everyone. This right here is the prize for the oldest college rivalry in the state of New York, the Dutchman Shoes Trophy, on the line this weekend for the 115th time. RPI could reclaim the shoes for a 5th straight year with the win over Union, and in doing so, the Engineers would also win the Liberty League title and punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. But the Dutchmen also playing for more than just a trophy with a trip to a bowl game on the line.
It does mean a lot this year, and I think it's going to be reflected in what you see on the field. It's going to be a passionate game. Like, I could see this game being real tight and being real fun, and I'm just excited to be a part of it.
It's awesome to get another chance to play another game, especially just me being a senior. It'd be awesome to play another game. It'd be home too, which would just be awesome, another home game. So I can't wait. I can't wait for Saturday.
None of these Union players have ever won the Dutchman shoes. They host the game at noon. All right, the early signing period opened today, and you know what that means. Pens, papers, college commitments galore all over the capital region. So let's start in Niskayuna, where a baker's dozen took the stage to celebrate that next step, including Olivia Owens, who will play D1 basketball at Maryland, and she said it's all a big relief.
There's other students who I go to school with, and they still don't know what college they want to go to, and it's just nice to know that it's all finally done and over with.
Absolutely. Now up in Saratoga, 20 total seniors signed their national letters of intent, and to do it as a group was meaningful.
The people I signed with are actually some of my best friends, and just being able to sign with them is the best feeling.
I can imagine. Now these are also some more signings from around the area, so congratulations to everyone who showed that hard work pays off. All right, we'll be back with more on News 10 ABC after this.
All right, luxury cars seized in criminal investigations up for grabs or auction today in Albany.
This 2007 Lamborghini coupe sold around $98,000. Wow. It was taken in a Medicaid fraud case, so proceeds from the sale go back into the Attorney General's Medicaid fraud unit. And that was not the only sports car. 2 others went out.
Probably doesn't get good gas mileage. No.
Yeah, don't want it.
You don't get them for gas mileage.
And you're right. And here's the thing. If they had a 99 Escort, I would be buying it.
You would have been right
all
there.
over that. I would have jumped all over it. Get ready, folks. Coldest weather of the season will be here by Friday.
We'll pay you to take it.
Next at 7, Fox 23, your next local news.
Good night.